Many of the best chefs in the world will tell you that the best way to get to know someone is through sharing a meal. I think this is absolutely true, and I think it's also true for expertly crafted coffee and cocktails. With that in mind, I wanted to create a drink that could introduce you to myself, Gage Quinn, and my shop salesman. Coffee and tea are the centerpiece of what we do, so I've started there for the drink. I've selected an anaerobic natural Ethiopian that's going to lend some yellow tropical fruits and lemongrass, and I've brewed this on an AeroPress at a 1:8 ratio with a medium fine grind. So I'm using 22 grams of coffee to 176 grams of water. I'm letting this steep inverted for 2 minutes before I flip, swirl, wait 30 seconds before doing a slow push. So we're going to start with 45 grams of our brewed Ethiopian coffee. We're then going to follow with 15 grams of our jasmine syrup, which I've made by making a strong jasmine tea and then adding equal parts sugar and letting it melt. We're now going to take more inspiration from the chefs by using a lacto-fermented cherry juice. We make this by destoning and halving the cherries, weighing them out and adding 2.5% of their weight in salt, then putting them in a vacuum-sealed bag for about 5 days, depending on the temperature. Once we see that it's inflated, we'll know that the fermentation is done, and so we can juice it, be ready to use. The lacto fermentation is going to bring out a tanginess in the cherries and bring out more of that flavor. It's also going to add some much needed salt into the drink that's going to balance out the bitterness and really bring those flavors up of the total drink. To our drink, we're going to add 14 grams of this cherry juice. So for my last main ingredient, I've chose a VS cognac that's going to complement those flavors really, really nicely. So I'm going to use 25 grams. Then before I add ice and stir, I'm going to add a little bit of an acid concentrate I've made with 3 grams tartaric and malic acid and 93 grams of water. I'm going to add just half a gram into this mixture, and that's going to brighten it up without adding any kind of flavor to it. I'm now going to stir this whole thing over ice to chill it down and give it a little bit of dilution, which will really let those flavors dance on the palate. I love that this drink manages to marry so many interesting ingredients while still keeping the coffee the focal point of the flavor. I can imagine the Cheshire Cat to be the perfect catalyst for getting to know someone.